Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about the fact that Shane Dawson is back on the internet, and not only back on the internet, but back with a new series. Now, I obviously watched the first episode. That's the only thing that's out as of now. But a lot of you were asking me to discuss his return to the internet, and I think that is because the way he left the internet was not subtle. It was not just a quiet walking away. It was quite extreme in the sense of he was very hated on the internet. A lot of people were coming after him. A lot of people were critiquing him justly. He was in the public eye in a very, very big way. And so when he left, people were debating, will he ever come back? And the bigger question is, can he really come back as Shane Dawson, the beloved creator that people have watched for years upon years? So the fact that he's back is interesting because we kind of are starting to maybe get answers to some of those questions. Now, he was coming back slowly, infiltrating kind of like Ryland's videos, but this is the first time he's back as himself, Shane Dawson, not really, hiding with anyone else or in anyone else's video or vlog. Before we get into this video, as you know, content like this is often demonetized, so I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Adam & Eve. Adam & Eve is America's favorite adult store. Not only does it come with discreet packaging, but they also donate 20% of their profit to help fight the spread of HIV around the world. They also have a 24/7 customer service and have 90-day no-hassle returns. If you go to adamandeve.com and use code GLARE, you'll get 50% off one item and free shipping in the US and Canada. Thank you, Adam & Eve, for sponsoring this. So I watched his video and I have a couple of things to say about it. Now, there are a few categories, and sorry if I'm looking down, but I want to make sure that I hit the points that I marked down while I was watching. So the first category is coming back as if nothing happened. Now, I think we can all agree that this is unsurprising, to say the least. I don't think any of us were really sitting here thinking that Shane Dawson's first video back was going to be, taking accountability or like the gray hoodie videos. Or I think we all knew that if and when Shane Dawson came back, it would be coming back with some type of content that is completely unrelated to the reason he disappeared in the first place.
Six-years old, and I was taking a picture of something, and the kid turns to me and goes, "Oh, are you Instagramming?" And first of all, how does a 5-year-old, 6-year-old know what Instagram is?
Right.
Which is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, I was embarrassed because yes, I was, and it was a picture of my salad. And the 6-year-old girl goes, "Oh, how many followers do you have?" I have 125,000.
No.
Her dick was almost as big as mine.
Really?
And I said, "Okay, little big dick, why do you have so many followers?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm a cheerleader." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And she shows me her Instagrams, which are like, first of all, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but like, she's like sexy. She's like sexy.
You're disgusting.
I know. Listen, we've talked about pedophilia
this
before.
is Shane. Like, do not say this, and like, I don't even want to talk about it. Like, you will get arrested. Like, he kind of can.
Listen,
he
allegedly,
has this justification for pedophilia,
okay,
and it's so disturbing. And like, I just pretend that he doesn't.
Okay, wait, no. Let me explain. Let me explain.
Oh God.
Here's my justification for pedophilia.
I can't.
Here's my thing. People have foot fetishes. People have fetishes about, everything. Fine, everybody do your thing. So why is it when somebody looks at Google's like naked baby on Google and jerks off to it, they can get arrested? I don't understand that.
Because
Here's the worst part of it. I actually went to Google and I'm like, I kind of want to see.
You could
I don't
get
want
arrested.
I know, but I just wanted to see, like, okay, let me pretend like I'm a pedophile for a sec.
But he did, in my opinion, come back like nothing changed. And this is a thought that I had even in just the first few minutes of his video, that it was even starting like the old docuseries or old videos, like the ones with Jeffree Star or the ones about sociopathy, where it starts very casually in his kitchen and maybe Morgan and Ryland are there and they're just chilling, and it's always the same opening vibe.
The way you said that was so scary. Okay.
My arms hurts.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't see that when I was looking at it in the dark. Sorry.
We have matching scratches.
Wait, say that again?
Oh, I'm just reading reviews.
And that was the same vibe that I got here, although he has added, the new scary red insidious font, to make this creepier or whatever. But that aside, the format to me is very much the same as what he did before. And some may say that that is also for nostalgia's sake, to kind of feel like the old Shane is back, and also maybe to take away attention from what happened, because it genuinely almost felt like nothing had happened. Like, while I was watching it, of course I was aware of all the scandal, but because of the continuation of this content is consistent with what he's done before, you almost forget. And I don't know if that was an intentional choice, but it is something I noted. So the next category is about the emotional and family aspect. So while this series is supposed to be about haunting and it's supposed to be creepy and, just generally horror, spooky themed, there is a very heavy emphasis put on family. There are multiple moments where Ryland's mom, Ryland's dad, the grandma, like where there's a focus on them. And there's a big focus also on the fact that Morgan, Shane, and Ryland are back in Colorado. So they've left LA. And that aspect I don't think is necessarily bad. Like, there's nothing necessarily inherently wrong with it. In fact, there are a lot of parts where Ryland's parents I find are very endearing. I find Ryland's father very funny. And all that is good and well. There's nothing that I found wrong with that. The only thing that I think that some people might think, and that I thought at the back of my mind too, is this kind of an emotional appeal, a kind of rehumanizing? Because I think for a while, Shane was not necessarily dehumanized as much as Shane was the scandals. When you heard the name Shane Dawson, you probably immediately thought of, oh, he's been in such scandal and such scandal and such scandal. He's being canceled for this, canceled for that, being called out by celebrities. And I think that showing family and the togetherness of the family could be a way to kind of be like, hey, trying again to take away attention from what happened and being more like, I'm just a regular person with a regular family and we all interact and blah, blah, blah. And like I said, that's not inherently bad. It's the intention that matters, because if you're showing it because that's genuinely your day-to-day life, that's how you interact with your family, nothing wrong with it. But again, it's all about intention, what the purpose of showing certain moments is. And, it might just very well be for comedic relief and just to make the series a little bit less daunting, because there are parts of this episode that are extremely heavy. So I don't know if that was also a way to offset that. But there was a very big family leaving LA, being here in Colorado in the suburbs aspect that I think should be noted, just because it was a significant portion of the video, really. Now, last of all, there's the historical aspect. And the historical aspect, I think, is probably the most significant in the sense that it is the most true to the title of the series. Because the reason you're watching this video, at least for me, apart from because I'm kind of reviewing it right now, but the reason you're going to watch a video about hauntings and spookiness and all this stuff is because you want the hauntings and spookiness, right? You're not tuning in to see family gatherings. You're not tuning in to, talk about life unless you are a really big fan of Shane and you care about all of Shane's life. But I feel like the majority of people I know would click for the creepy content because that's what's advertised. Now, the historical aspect is also the most significant because they do discuss the massacre of Governor Evans and the massacre of tribes and how tribes were set up to be murdered because of Governor Evans lying basically about them having murdered his family, which was not true, but gave way for a massacre of these tribes. And I think that that was important to include because obviously it's a massacre, it's important to discuss. But I think more than anything, it shows that this series has the potential to make an impact that is more than just, a conspiracy or like a creepy story or like hearing a noise on a bridge, but they actually bring awareness to important things. So as much as I or anyone else may not like Shane Dawson, bringing attention to these massacres is important, and they did that. So I did appreciate that they were historically trying to cover, at least in this first part, we'll see in the next part, but they were trying to at least bring attention to something that is far larger and far more significant than anything else in the video itself. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much everything that I got from episode 1. You guys can let me know if you want me to talk about the other episodes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.